Hey, what's going on, everybody? Once again, it is a little bit after 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. So, y'all know what it is. We are live for another episode of Book Talk Live. Once again, I am your host, Sugar Ray Destin, and I am joined by my amazing, phenomenal little sister, Miss Ereka Howard. How are you today?
Hi, I am well. How are you?
I am great. I'm great. Um, for some reason, Facebook always does me like that. It takes it off of public and puts it on private immediately. So I gotta have to
What?
adjust the private setting. Yeah, Facebook be hating sometimes, but we
That's
gotta love
okay.
'em. Yeah, they got
Haters.
they got the platform. We enjoy it. Your bio, and I know my computer probably froze up on me. I could easily read your bio, but I'll tell people a little bit about you, and then
Mhm.
I want you to share your story. So I'll tell people what I know of Miss Ereka Howard. So we actually had a chance meeting at an event. I want to say back in 2014, we were speaking at an event and we were paired off to go and talk to some youth in the same room. Come to find out, she was a speaker. I'm a this um, instant bond of, yo, that's so dope what you do. How can I support you? And we started building together. So she is actually the co-founder of the Claim Your Destiny Youth Leadership Program with me. For a while, I was running the boys program, and she was running the program for the young ladies. Now, here's where the twist comes in. The rest of the story is getting ready to get deep. So, Miss Ereka, can you tell them a little bit more about the journey we since 2014?
Well, hi everyone, whoever, wherever, however you are. I am Miss Ereka Howard, and as Sugar Ray said, we connected a long time ago, and it was through a nonprofit organization. And when we were both giving, I believe I was one of the contractors for that organization, and he was coming in, and Sugar Ray was actually one of the speakers. And so we immediately clicked that very moment. And so at that time, I then partnered with him during his actual presentation to the youth and then organization. And since then, as you said, I am the co-founder of Claim Your Destiny. His program is bomb. And so um just it's just it's a 360. Things have kind of done like a little 360. And so since then, I have relocated to the Dallas Fort Worth area. Dub uh gangsta
Not with the
gangsta
swaggy,
in
not with
the
the swag
building.
sauce though.
Gangsta in the building. No, but um so since then I've relocated to the Dallas Fort Worth area to pursue my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I obtained my master's, and then now I'm going back in for that doctorate. And so the doctorate is in counseling, education, and supervision. So a little bit of my background. I, at the age of 5 months old, I was actually abandoned. I was left with a neighbor that no one knew. My mom was on drugs, heroin, cocaine, everything else. And prior to that, they came in from Cuba. They migrated from Cuba during the Mariel
Wow.
boat lift. Cuba, Mariel. And so around that time, my grandmother came from Cuba, and then they resided in Dallas. They came and lived in Dallas, and then a couple of years later, boom, here I am. Hi, world. And so that journey since I was born actually began. My struggles actually began there. I have access to my original birth records, the adoption records. And so I found out that my mother had syphilis when she was pregnant with me. However, that wasn't carried down to me, but it did cause a lot of dysfunctioning. I was considered to be developmentally delayed at that age of 5 or 6 months old. Um, I then, at the age after she abandoned me and left me with a neighbor, um, they were on Section 8 and everything. And then after that, and this is all true information. This is the information that I have received through all of my adoption records that I investigated it on my own. Don't tell anybody. But when you are hungry enough to find some things, you will do what it takes to do it. So I did it.
Talk about it.
And so, anywho, then I was put into foster care. And so after that, I was then adopted at the age of 2 by a lovely family. Growing up, I went through a lot of different difficulties in life, identity, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And some of those things have caused me to develop into who I am. And, I'm just grateful, Sugar Ray, for you kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone. Because we always say, as speakers, we're always the motivators, but no, we're not. We're hardly ever the motivating. Is that a word? The motivatees. Do you have mentors?
Yeah.
Recipients per
There we
se.
go.
Yeah, and so it's hard to really do that, but I really am thankful and grateful for you for pushing me out of my comfort zone, because this is well overdue. And my voice yesterday, I went to the football game and
we know you got a whole bunch of energy.
Oh
so
my gosh. I was the mascot. Mascot at Texas State University. Yeah. So my energy level was just like boom. So through the globe. It's not even through the roof. It's through the globe. Wait, the sky, the atmosphere. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So thank you. That's just a snippet of me, and I'm not going to give you a lot because we do have a book coming out, and in order for you to find out the rest of my life, it is some uncut things in there that I did go through, some traumatics. Codependency, a lot of things that, abuse, neglect, identity, homelessness, repossessions, financial difficulties, job losses. If I could tell you how many jobs, I wish I had another hand to tell you how many jobs I have lost. So I'm excited. So yeah, you're gonna have to, they're gonna have to. Yeah, so go. It's gonna be good, bro. So yeah,
definitely, and we'll dive into that, because what people see now, and I always see that meme that says, "I'm so glad that I don't look like what I've been through," right?
That's right.
And I just know, going back when we first met, when we would do events together, and we'd be at schools, and
Mm-hmm.
people always say, well, I'm monotone, but why?
Mm-hmm.
And then out of nowhere, here comes this fireball of energy. Hey, y'all, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go to the next level. Y'all ain't ready. But that chemistry has been there. The genuineness, and the children that would walk away from it, the students would always come up to us afterwards and say, "Yo, thank y'all so much, because we're so motivated."
Right.
So I want to touch on just a few of the things that you've done. What people are seeing now is the end products of who you are, the struggles that you've been through. And so So I want to touch on it because there's a lot of educators out there
Mhm.
that need to know who you are so that their
Mhm.
students, because there's still students who are going through the foster care system. There's
Mhm.
still people who are still going through abuse. There's still people who are
Mhm.
going through neglect. There's still people who are trying to figure it out. They,
Right.
um, so you mentioned going back to, let's go back to let's go back to 2000,
Mhm.
2014,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
You had just graduated from, and let's go back to your speaking career actually.
Okay.
When did you start speaking? What was
Well,
it that prompted you to start speaking?
well, as a child, I had actually went through my parents. My mother is a very outspoken person, and so in that atmosphere, it's one of those things where I was just kind of pushed into it.
Yeah.
And so she is a fireball. And if you guys hear some things in the background, I'm in a public place, so I do apologize. But Sugar Ray, let me know if I need to
Nah, you
relocate.
good.
Okay. So basically, it was one of those things where I had no choice but to um, be in front of people, speak at the age of 6, 7, 8 in church on when she was going, traveling and different things. I had no choice but to actually, be pushed out in that atmosphere. So I've been speaking since I was a child. But as I got older in 2014, I really started to develop my niche. Is that a word? Niche?
That's the word. Yeah.
Pitch?
That's your, you jumped into your niche.
Yeah,
Yeah.
into my groove. And so when I did that, I basically kind of realized like I got a voice and I know how to use it the right way. You get a lot of speakers that just get up there and just talk about anything and call themselves a speaker. No, I think
No.
the most powerful thing about speakers is when you have lived through all of the things in life and you know the business side of it. And so just like we have lived through a lot of different things in life. And we know the business side of speaking. We know the personal side of speaking. And so um I just developed that like at an early age. And then once I got off to college, I started speaking, and along with the mascot, I just kind of had that personality to speak. I don't know why I just did that, but yeah. So so I just kind of, and I like it. I like it. You can't put the guy that does the clear eyes in front of uh in front of millions of people, and he talks like this the whole time. And so my personality just assisted me with those things. So yeah, me and you, we basically are like hot and cold, but when we get together, it's a balance. So
Hey, I resent that because I don't always speak in just one tone. This is, I don't
say
always
it
speak
with your
in just one
chest.
tone. Sometimes I talk like this, and sometimes I nah. But
Sometimes I talk like this, and sometimes I talk like this.
yeah. So see, and what's amazing to me is that you mentioned that at 5 or 6, your mom, and you refer to, you speak of your adopted parents as your
Mhm.
parents because they've
Mhm.
they've raised you. So if you want to talk a
Absolutely.
little bit about that experience, what it was like, because we've heard some of the horror stories of the foster care system, but it sounds
Mhm.
like you had more of a
Mhm.
loving situation.
Mhm.
So if we can touch.
Yes. Well, on that in that aspect, I did have a lot of as I got older, the normal stages as it requires us to go through in life. Childhood, adolescent, adult, I mean, preteens, then adults, and then you have the geriatric group. And so there's levels of development that we go through. And so in that aspect, I went through all of those different levels, and I still go through, well, stages. And so just growing up, knowing that I was adopted, I never fit in ever. And it was so hard because my family was African American, and here I am, this light skinned person with curly hair. Something just don't match. And so I was trying to fit in with the wrong crowds. I was trying to do things that I know I shouldn't have been doing, which caused issues at home. I was raised very, very my parents were very strict, Christ driven and everything. And so I couldn't do a lot of the things that other kids did, which actually made me want to do those things. Physical, mental, spiritual, emotional experiences that caused me to really struggle as I got older. And so in that aspect, it was very hard for me to know who I am, which is why I chose the title that I did for my book. So, yeah. So it hadn't always been easy. You know, my parents loved me to death and everything. But there were some challenges that I went through in my childhood, and some of the decisions that I made in my childhood that caused me to become who I am. So, but you got to get that book, man. I want to give it to him, but I can't, because it, you know, yeah. So it's some, yeah, because my parents were very private. Yeah. My family was very private. And so, so yeah, very private.
And that makes a lot of sense, right? Mm-hmm. But is there one situation that you can remember where you were going through some of those struggles, okay, of trying to figure out?
Well, oh man. Well, anyway, I snuck out of the house when my mom would go out of town. I snuck out the house because that was my chance to kind of, you know, get out, like, you know. And so when I did sneak out, I snuck out at, you know, times where I shouldn't have been gone, and I did things that I shouldn't have done, and hanging out with the wrong people, but yet I was still able to maintain, you know, my persona. You know, very little people knew kind of what I was doing while I was out and about as a teenager. So because of that, I was hanging around with the wrong crowd, but yet I still played basketball, had good grades, and was in orchestra, and everybody knew me as this person. And, you know, but they didn't know those things that I did, you know, because I didn't know who I was. And so, yeah, okay. Get the book. Yeah.
Well, tell me something that since adulthood you've experienced that you were like, you know what, I'm so thankful that I had this experience growing up, because what did it prepare you for, right?
Okay.
Because I often learn, yes, all Paul say, good times, familiar faces.
What up, Saul Paul? My voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met at the African Youth Harvest Foundation in Austin. Yeah, I remember Saul. Yeah, absolutely. He's got a powerful story too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up? What up?
But oftentimes what we learn is that the things that we go through, for example, when we're going through our storms in life, a lot of times it's like, why me? Why me? And then you get to that next level and you see somebody else going through it, and it's like, oh, that's why. That's why. So what was one of those experiences for you? And looking back, and Ashley Green from the rec center said, hey, two places.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, hi guys.
But
so as far as it goes, some of the things that I'm appreciative of that I went through as a child that has made me more valuable as an adult, I would say along the lines of my mother really instilling in me who I was, in a sense, and telling me who I was. You know, you are this person, your name is this, you spell it like this, don't let nobody tell you different. Those things really, um, really have developed me into the woman that I am now. And I didn't like it. I hated it. You know, some of the clothes I wear today, I wore when I was 12 or 13 years old. I ain't like that. You know, I wanted to wear the tight jeans to show my figure, and because I saw the kids in school. You know, I saw the kids doing that, and I wanted to wear those type of things that I couldn't. And so now, as an adult, I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? And yeah, I was teased. I was teased as a child. People was like, "Oh, you're adopted," this and that and the other, and they would talk about me because of some of the decisions I made as a teenager. But some of those kids that I wanted to hang around with, they decided to go a different path in life,
Right.
and so which is does not make me more valuable than them, but they some of them they had a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so now, seeing how I managed to utilize my struggles as a child and teenager, like I'm like, okay, all right, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you for trying to protect me to not hang out with that particular group because I was just trying because they looked popular or they were doing some of the things I wanted to do. So I'm very grateful for that. Um, what else? The struggles that I went through. I've talked to several adoptees. There's a group that I'm the group facility. Well, one of the groups that I facilitate in Dallas. It's called Adoptees Connect Dallas, and so it's a lot of adult adoptees that have the same struggles that I dealt with. Like just seeing all that stuff that I went through in life, and how other adoptees and how other people who experience traumatic experiences, and how other grown-ups, they had those teenage years, and it's abuse, neglect. It's amazing to see how things, the Bible says all things work together.
For the
And
good
so
of the
some
Lord.
of those things I like to throw out,
Yeah.
but they do, you know what I'm saying? So I'm appreciative of it. Some of the things I didn't like, but it makes more sense now. But it's who it God used my family that put me in their life to I had a purpose way before I had my problems. He already knew right off the bat
Say that
what
again.
he was
Say that again.
he I had a purpose before.
You had
Yeah,
purpose
my
before
problem.
you had the problems.
Yeah, I had purpose before I had the problems. And so I just yeah, so it's one of those things. Yeah, I'm just grateful for it. I'm grateful.
Yeah, and it's beautiful hearing you tell the story because knowing what you do now, you actually help those who are in the same system that
Right.
you went through, that you graduated from, so to speak, that
Mhm.
you lived through. So
Right.
how are you? What are you doing these days to help those in that situation?
Well, as I said, the group facilitating, since I did get my master's in clinical mental health counseling, my goal is to become licensed. I do have my licensed chemical dependency counselor intern license, which makes me a candidate to work with those that deal with substance abuse. Um, and so right now I am utilizing that license. And then I'm working with clients that kind of deal with trauma, relationships, issues, divorce. I recently got out of a really long term, well, not recently, but got out of a situation, and so life happens, and you just pick it back up and you keep it pushing, but I'm utilizing the things that I learned in my life throughout the years that I've experienced, and I try to formulate it to help other people in an aspect of whether if it's just talking or whether if it's speaking and doing groups, facilitating, or doing curriculum, or working with clients that deal with that, helping them process those things. Because if you don't have an atmosphere to process, it doesn't make any sense. And
Right.
I actually go to counseling as well to say, to be transparent. So it's a lot of ways that I've done, so that I can utilize my tools that I've learned in school and switch it to that mental health, because we are in a pandemic, y'all. And so a lot of people, we have found out that a lot of people are dealing with mental health issues, job losses, that's grief. You know, it's so many business loss, you know, stock markets crashing, all kinds of stuff going on. And so, um, you know, it's mental health is something that is needed. So that's kind of how I use those things. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not only do you, so that's one, that's amazing that you are in that position now. You're using your voice
Mhm.
to help others who are going through the same situation. But
Right.
let's talk about the speaking as well.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people are like, okay, well, she's just like she's in a counselor, she's in a clinic. How do we get access to it? So let's talk about some of the speaking engagements that you've done and the ongoing speaking engagements that you do.
Okay. So there are how it happens is if you have a nonprofit organization or company or anything, corporation or program on your campus or anything, and you realize that your students or your clients or population that you serve, the community, has issues with trauma, I go in and I help that particular group develop a plan, whether if it's a model, whether if it's strategies, whether if it's a curriculum, whether if it's training. You know, I go in and I kind of help them formulate ways that they can develop those things in the workplace. And so, you know, utilizing like the group facilitating. And since then, I've done that. There's all kinds of different things that I've done in helping those, you know, that are dealing with particular issues on that aspect. Does that answer your question?
That's part of it. That's part.
Okay.
I know, because I have to sometimes keep up with you from afar, because we're connected, but it ain't always that. Hey, what's going on, sis? Every once in a while we do, but I've seen some of those events that you have done.
Mhm.
Just little snippets that you've had. You've spoken at college commencement ceremonies. You've spoken
Mhm.
at high schools. You've spoken at organizations. So what are those experiences like for you? What are the
Oh man, being in front of kids, I love kids. Being in front of young adults, I love it. I remember doing an event at the same college that I went to that I well, when I graduated high school, I went back and I did an event for their student body, their new incoming students. And it was I'm different, you know, you know, being different. And I utilized it. And I knew you were going to sing that song. I'm different.
you
Yeah,
knew it was coming.
I was in a training session the other day and they played that song and that song came in. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. You did that during our promotional video a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. I remember that. And so I just kind of, you know, I go in, I have a plan. What I do first is I find out the population that is wanting me to come and speak, whether that's me going to the website, talking with their program development personnel, their advertising, and you know, there's things that we do together that I work with you to get those things done. Um, it's all about you. It's all about the people that I'm actually helping. Yeah.
If there's anybody who's and this is where I need to put in a pause real quick. If there's anybody who is serious about creating that speaking career, that speaking business, y'all just heard a few of the things that she does to make sure she's serving. She's not going there because, oh, I
Mhm,
need to
mhm,
post this on Facebook. I'm so tired of
mhm,
seeing that.
mhm,
It's actually, who am I coming in to serve? Let me do
mhm,
my research to
mhm,
study this organization. Not only do I need to study this organization, but how can I help you promote this event so that it's your event? I'm just here to make sure that it's successful, right? So if y'all pause, go back to this point, grab a pen and paper. Exactly what she just said is what separates those who continue to get booked for their speaking and those
mhm,
who post those thank you notes on
mhm.
Facebook saying thank you for this organization.
Quality,
Yeah,
quality. Quality is
quality
important in
presentation.
this business. Quality. You can go and speak for everybody around the globe, but if you don't go and send them a thank you, a follow up, make sure they're okay, then you're just another person that comes and speaks with to them. You have to make a specific connection with them, with your audience, with the personnel that's actually a part of the audience. You have to make that connection. You have to make that connection. And so it's important. It's more than just it's more than just going in and speaking. Find out what they need. Why do they want you? you know what makes you different from every other speaker? I can't see anything on Facebook right now, but I just tell them I said hi. I don't even know who's on here. Hi guys.
You got a few people watching with you. They'll come back in. So if y'all are on and y'all are watching, make sure you go and follow Miss Ereka Howard's page, as well as I would say send her a friend request, but she got like 8,000 friends, so
Ugh,
I don't know if that's gonna work.
acquaintances, bro. Something is different than having an acquaintance and a friend. And I learned that as growing up. So yeah, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
let's jump into this book though. Let's jump into this book because people want to know the title itself speaks volumes, right? Um, and tell the mama with the baby in the background to tell the baby to be cool real quick. We can hear it. It's cool. No, but
Are you talking to me?
yeah.
Okay, let me step out. I'm going to step out
Nah,
real quick.
you good.
Oh,
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing.
oh.
We don't care about the baby in the background. People love babies. um, what the title itself speaks volumes
Mm-hmm.
because identity crisis, right?
Mm-hmm.
What made you choose that as the title?
Well, I decided to use the identity crisis title specifically because my identity has been something that has been a crisis for me my whole entire life.
Yeah.
And I have began to find a way to develop a new identity consistently. And I found out while developing an identity, not only in adoption, but people still don't know who they are. They're trying to search who they are. I was just so happened that I was in adoption. I was an adoptee. But there's all kinds of people out there. They don't know, whether it's the workforce. And so my specific reason for doing that is because my identity has been a crisis. It has been a crisis for me my whole entire life. It has been something that I've had to really find out what and who I am and what my purpose is. And so, yeah.
And so knowing that's that's powerful.
Who's saying something? Is somebody saying something?
Yeah, somebody it said she has a whole entire fan page. Wow. Yeah,
Oh my
no,
God.
yeah, my Miss Ereka Howard, my little sister, is the truth. Um, she's been working and doing this for years. So you touch on the fact that you had the identity crisis back in the day, and you still have had the ability to reinvent yourself each time, right? There's still people out there who are struggling with who they are. That's why they call it for adults midlife crisis, or when we all face those teen years of being not knowing who we were, how we fit in, trying to fit in, college years, reinventing ourselves, getting into the corporate world as adults. Um, all these things are so powerful. And it sounds like in your book, are you just touching on one phase of the identity crisis, or and without giving us too much? Because one, for everybody that's watching, definitely make sure when we drop that pre-sale link that you get your pre-sale, because you want these copies early. It will be a bestseller. That's my guarantee. I put my right hand to God on that. But what are, if you can go over some of the, just a high level overview of some of the things that you touch on in the book.
Okay, so one of the things I touched on in trauma is a big one that I deal with, in the aspect of how I how traumatic it has been for me to find out who I am, meaning I put myself in positions where I shouldn't have done, as a child, as a teenager. And so since then, as I've gotten older, I realized that I respond now to the way that I did then when I was a child. And so it touches bases. And I know I'm a female, and so, but that doesn't mean that males don't go through it as well. So this is not one of those books where you will find, although it's important, this is not one of those, touching bases, just for women or anything like that. It's going to be something that's touching bases on men, what men deal with. I mean, I've been, I'm an observer, and so I watch people's um responses and everything. And so yeah. So the book, it's from start to finish. It has how ways that I responded to those situations. I mean, it's in your face. It's really it's in your face. This isn't one of those books where you're going to read it and then you're going to forget about what you learned about. It's let me say this, it's not about me.
Yeah.
This book isn't only about me. This is about the things that we deal with as a whole, as a society, and how we overcome those particular things in life. So it's a personal and public book that is, that we're working on, and it's from Stages. Um, yeah, it's dope. I mean, it's not dope, but it's like
It's
it's
gonna be
live.
super dope content. Yeah. Did you say live?
Yes, it's gonna be live.
You went back to like 1996, 97. That party was live, yo. Nah. So it sounds like the book is not only going to have your story, but it will
Mhm.
also have content to help others grow
It's
through.
going to have tools. It's going to have things, it's not just going to be you reading about a story. No, you're going to have to be engaged in this book. And so it's going to have, you're going to learn. You're going to learn about yourself. As you're going to learn about me, and you're going to learn about yourself too. So, but I want to say this though. I am a trained mental health clinician. However, there's a difference between a licensed and a non-licensed. So these things that I will be talking about in the book are statistically researched. It is theoretical standpoints of human behavior, human development, human growth. And so it's also going to, I wanted to say that as well. Yeah, and it's going to be kind of funny too, because the way I respond to things and the way we all respond to things, like, all right, cool, but what just happened? You know, so it's gonna be funny, but it's also gonna be pretty.
Deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I know personally that this book is going to be not just, like you say, it's not just going to be high level educational, but it's
Mhm.
also going to be super super fun to read, because you want to engage not just the clinicians out there, but
Right.
it's also since it's for the people, it's going to be broke down in a
Hmm.
scientific way where
Hmm.
it makes it fun.
Oh, that's why I went through that. That's why I responded like that. Okay, how do all right, this is how I deal with that. Okay, all right, but wait, what if this happens? Okay, well, this is what I need to do.
Yeah,
Type thing. Yeah.
exactly. And I'm super excited about the book. I'm super excited about the book, and y'all have no idea how amazing the book is going to be, how many lives are going to be changed. as a result of having the actual tools. Because I think these days everybody's putting it up on social media. It's almost cliche. Take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health. Well, this is somebody who's actually um,
Lived.
lived through it and has went through the counseling, and not only went through the counseling, but is a counselor for others. So she's walking people through, you're walking people through the actual steps to healing um
Mhm.
at many different stages of life as well.
Yes. Talking to you. Talking to you
Yeah.
right there. You. Not them, but you. Yeah.
And as y'all can see, there's so much personality. Um, so much personality. Um, and I want to open it up for people. If there's any questions that y'all have, y'all know I give y'all like 2 minutes of questions. Ashley Green said that she definitely wants you to share the link to the book. So we'll go ahead and drop that book in the comments later. One of the things that I will always say is that we're not going to drop an Amazon link because um, little known fact, just like with recording labels and the record industry, when you are a self-published author, it's always better to support the author directly by going directly to their website or their link, because then they're able to maximize the use of their profits, as opposed to getting maybe 30 to 35% from Amazon after 30 to 60 days. We want her to get her money up front. So y'all definitely make sure you support. Um, Now let's talk about one last thing. Well, maybe not one last thing, because the one when we first started the youth program, and this is something that most people don't know. Most people only saw the one side of it, right?
Mm,
Um, when we first started the youth program, there was a little bit of a heartbreaking breakup temporarily,
mm.
because you had to go to school. What was the plan back then? 2000. So let's go back to July, no, August 2014.
Hmm.
You went to Dallas and was like, look, keep this program going,
Oh
keep
yeah.
doing big things, because I will be back.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
So so has the mission, and you said you were only going for the master's degree.
Mm.
What did I say at that point?
I don't remember.
If you're going for the master's, you might as well go all the way.
Right. Right.
How much more do you have left?
I have it all depends on the classes that I take. If I decide to take more, then it can just depend. Like when you're in a master's and doctoral program, you can't say that you're going to finish at this time. To be quite honest with you, I failed a lot of classes when I was in my master's program and had to retake them. Went through the whole class
I ain't
with
getting none of those phone calls.
when I yeah, I'm serious. It started when this is going to be in that book too. I went I there was a lot of they when I was going through my bachelor's program, they took me out of the program that I had already planned to get in, and they were telling me to do something else, and I just could I felt and then it happened in my master's. Let me say this. I um so I then went to my master's program, and if your program that you're in doesn't really pull you and stretch you, then it's hard for you to really develop a passion in it. And so the counseling program that I was in, it has stretched me. It has stretched me, and so it depends on how long I'm able to even do those classes. So you could basically say, hey, I'm going to finish in 2 years, but it's a process. Like it's not just the bachelor's anymore. You have to live up to a standard. So it could take 2 or 3 or 1.5. It all just varies, but my goal is to finish it within a couple of years or so. But there are, there's dissertations, and then there's research, and there's statistics, and then there's bloodistics, and there's tutistics, and autistics, and bluetistics, and redistic. It's a lot of stuff, man. But I know one thing about it: I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I refuse to quit, man. I've been through too much, and there's too much out there for me to quit now. And there's too much out there for you to quit now, because I know people are watching this, and I know they really seriously, genuinely need that inspiration. And so just, we got it. It's that nothing stays the same, you know, nothing in the world stays the same. So, um, yeah, I'm looking to finish it whenever it's time. Yeah.
I like that. I like that answer. But even in that answer, you gave us something that most people miss, right? Because most people see, oh, masters or PhD, and they think, well, this person just went through school and they finished. But you're actually letting us know there were struggles along the way. There were storms along the way, and yet and still, you're still
Mhm.
pushing towards the mark
Yeah,
and not
I've
stopping.
had, yeah, yeah, I've had so many doors shut in my face, but one thing I did about it is I unscrewed those,
You just
those, yeah, those things on that door, and I replaced it with another door.
mm,
And so, I've had rejection all my life. And I think that's the one thing that we all deal with as adults: rejection, and picking ourselves back up and getting to where we need to get. And so, I I've there's stuff that me being who I am, this positive person, nothing's wrong with me, I'm cool, smiling. All right, cool, all right, yeah, but I know there's something going on there. Nobody is just, we're all human beings.
yeah.
And so in my master's program, I had to accept the fact that I had a disability, to be honest with you. I've received accommodations to particularly classes that I've had to take. There's a lot of it's not easy, but if you have that perseverance to really move forward in life and do what you're called to do, then it's they're just stepping stones. So those doors, they were slammed in my face, and I looked at them, and then I was like, you know what? How can I get out of this door that's slammed in my face? Okay, well, there are screws that keeps the doors together. So unlock those screws, undo those screws that are in there, and then just lift the door up and move it down. You don't have to knock it down. It takes more strength for you to knock a door down than it takes just to push it down, you know.
See, that's where we different. I'm coming with the foot.
I will knock it down though,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
if
coming
I
with
need
the foot. You tell me I can't come in. I'm kicking the door down, and I'm gonna build my own door after.
to.
Yeah. now, now I want to do two things because we're at the end of the show. Um,
Yes.
first thing I want to do is um I'm gonna sponsor two people to for a copy, a pre-order of your book, which is not normally we give out ebooks or whatever. I'm gonna give two people. So the first two people that comment book, I will actually pay for your autographed copy of Erica's book when it comes out. So we'll need to get some information. Um, so anybody that the first two people that comment book, I'll buy those books. Uh, for you. So you got about a minute to put that comment in there. If it's not in
Hey,
there,
I need to figure out a way that I can put book in there, because I need to get a pre-ordered copy as well, even though I'm not.
you gonna have the best copy of the book. Come on. You gonna
Well,
have
this isn't going to be the only book that comes out, also. So
yeah, you gonna have a
I
copy of
need to figure out put book in there.
I remember when I sent you a picture of my first copy of books,
Oh
you were
man.
like you were like, that's so dope, but you got a foot in there. That's a toe. I know a toe. You gotta take that you gotta retake that picture. Good times. Good times. That was so looks like Ed Robertson and Ashley Thomas both commented book. So I
Oh.
I'll get their information,
Great.
where to send the books
Thank
when
you.
they release. When are we looking at releasing it?
We are looking to release it early next year. There are a lot of things that has to be edited in it, and there will be um, things that are cited in there, and so there's research based in there, and so within research, it takes time to
We got
actually kind of get
we
this
got
ain't
to
like
listen. We got an editing team for that. So
yeah. So
so
there's just research.
let's put a date on it. What
Okay.
date are we dropping? Are we dropping Identity
We
Crisis?
we will drop it no later than February of next year.
Okay. So by the end of February
Yes,
2021, Identity Crisis will be out.
that's
By
right.
the beginning of March,
That's
February
right.
2021, you are looking at a future best-selling author on this podcast.
Oh my God.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Y'all know what? I'm excited. Go get the book. It become the thing is dropping out on February 2021. Check it out. It's my boy Easy. And I'm just kidding. No, but y'all go check. Y'all seriously, this is really going to be something that it should have been out a long time ago. But a lot of authors, I know you shared my story in your book, and then I have another author as well that did that as well. But it's just something about putting a book out there that is very scary to show and tell your story because you're worried about what that other person is thinking. And so me, I always say do it uncomfortable
Mm.
and get comfortable being uncomfortable. So yeah, it's I'm a living witness, and you're gonna experience it. So yeah, before the end of February, it is going to be out. Probably way before then. But this book is not something that I'm going to just throw out there just to have out there. It's rather to have quality and quantity rather than just fluff. So
Mhm. Exactly. And so at this point, there's one thing that I also like to do. It's another thing. So I got a $25 Cash App giveaway. If you've won the $25 Cash App giveaway before, then we're gonna give somebody else a chance. So the first person that comments cash, and while they're doing that, if you can share just one nugget with them, I want you to light us up because I know you bring that heat.
um
One parting thought.
one I want to say this when you're going through something in life, pay attention to your responses about that particular situation because how you respond is going to affect the outcome that you're going to get. For example, if you're thinking every time you're going and you're talking to somebody, your mind is thinking another thought and you're never really present. But there's something that is a truth between facts and feelings. And once you really realize what's a fact in your life, or if it's just a feeling, or it's just a response, you know, just try to figure out those particular things that you go through in life. Is it a fact or is it a feeling? And it's not as big as you're making it. It's not the end of the world. And just really focus on the truth. Find out if you're responding to a fact or feeling. That really kind of helps people formulate what's the truth and what's a lie. And so that's that's meat and potatoes right there. That in life, if you lose a job, man, I'm a failure, I suck. um well, that's a feeling that you have, and you're saying you suck, but the other people out there probably don't think you suck. So how do you formulate the fact and what's a feeling? Okay, you feel like you suck, you feel like you're a failure, but it's not the truth. So just really constructing those things and really knowing, okay, this is true and it's just not a truth.
Yeah. Absolutely. So make sure that when you're responding, one, listen, not just to respond, but listen, to be in the moment, be present, and true. Make sure you're responding, and you're not responding based on feeling. You're in based on facts and how, and really going all in. Um, yeah, and Nakia Triplet, registered nurse, said yes, response can ruin your future, literally. And she also said, I'm glad I joined. This is good. I can make up an entire story. I think we all can. And that's part of it. Don't respond to the stories that are happening here. Because, and I've had this conversation before with someone. I can't respond to the voices that I don't even hear that you're having a conversation with. So make sure that you're in that moment and you're having that conversation and being present. Um, Looks like nobody wanted that $25 Cash App giveaway. I'll give another 30 seconds. So the first person that comments cash,
I need to go on to Facebook real quick. Hold on, let me log on to this video because y'all tripping. Y'all, dude, please.
Yeah, the first person that comments cash, and you have to be in the actual video, not a watch party. So click over from the watch party to the video if you're in there, and that way I can see the comments. All right, and it looks like Nakia Triplet was the one who jumped on and got that $25 Cash App giveaway. But listen, sis, see, Ashley and LaShonda, y'all got in a few seconds after Nakia. That's why I said you gotta be present in these moments. Nakia, I will get with you afterwards to get your information for the Cash App. Ed and Ashley, I'll get with y'all to get y'all information for the book and have it ready for when the book drops. And I'm pretty sure Ed is gonna be all up and through the book beforehand, being one of our lead editors. So absolutely. But sis, as always, love you. And everybody on Facebook world, love y'all. See y'all next week. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.